Alright, so we have a very good fight for the main event of this card. So we have Edson Barboza versus Giga Chikadze. So, breaking down the striker where I'm expecting most of this fight to play out, really. So for Chikadze, he's got a kickboxing background, he switches his stance frequently. I think he likes to mirror his opponent's stance, so he likes to be in orthodox when his opponent's a southpaw. He wants to be in southpaw when his opponents are orthodox. And I think that's because it opens up the body kick for him, obviously, and that's one of his favourite techniques that he likes to use. He likes I think it's the Giga kick. He likes the roundhouse body kick, especially when he's in southpaw. So when he's in southpaw, he's looking for the roundhouse body kick. When he's in orthodox, he's looking for the switch body kick. So yeah, that's the Giga kick. And he's very accurate with it as well. Like, you know, a lot of people throwing the body kick or the high kick, they'll kind of hit the elbows or hit the cup sometimes. But he's very accurate with it. He gets you know, right to the spot where you're going to feel it. He uses feints. He uses a lot of feints to set up his kicks. He has a very refined kicking game. His nice front kick to the body, low calf kick facing another orthodox opponent. If he starts throwing leg kicks, I don't know if he's going to want to start that battle, you know. Kind of pour gasoline on that fire, because Edson Barboza, he's got very nice low calf kicks, very powerful low calf kicks. He likes to attack the inside leg, inside calf as well with the lead leg too, as we saw in the Dan Hooker fight, or just, you know, the basic, you know, inside low calf kick when he's facing a southpaw. But yeah, Edson Barboza he's got thunderous kicks, and he's got powerful low calf kicks, and he will check kicks, like coming back to him. Like the same way Aldo did in the Pedro Munoz fight, that's the same way that Edson will check these kicks. But yeah, Edson Barboza, Muay Thai foundation, he likes to take the back foot and try to walk you onto his shots. He's trying to walk you onto his powerful techniques, and he is, you know, very powerful. Against southpaws, so if Giga does decide to switch southpaw, as I said, he likes the inside low kick, the inside low calf kick to the inside calf. He likes the teep to the body versus southpaws. Body kicks, high kicks. So the same kicks are going to be there for Barboza if, you know, it's what's his name? Giga does switch southpaw, that are available for Giga, but Giga will have the liver open for him, and that's, you know, how he gets so many people with that fucking Giga kick. Yeah, that's it. The Giga kick, and that's how he got Cub Swanson with it. But for Edson Barboza, his boxing has come a long way. He's got nice hands, honestly, now. It's clean as hell. Nice stiff jab. Left rip to the body, 3 up top, you know, kind of a Mike Tyson-esque combination. Left hook in the pocket, every punch has intent behind it. You know, he's not throwing any feelers out there, he's throwing to knock your block off, basically. And he likes to counter a jab with a 2. For Giga, he wings a lot of his punches, and he will start boxing more later in fights. I think that might be because he gets fatigued and doesn't want to move around as much, and if the footwork isn't there, and if he's not moving his feet, then he won't be able to get space for the kicks. Like, he won't be able to move his feet to create space for the kicks, and then I guess he just, you know, doesn't get the space for the kicks, so he just drops them and he starts throwing hands. But yeah, his hands, you know, very wild. Doesn't set up a lot of his boxing strikes. He will overextend on his left overhand quite a bit, and he does dip his head when he does throw an overhand, like an overhand right, overhand left, whatever. Dips his head. So he's got to watch out for that flying knee of Barboza, because he will go for that flying knee, and there's not really any, like, you know, usually the threat with a flying knee is that you can kind of get caught, or maybe, you know, you fall off balance after throwing it. It's not really a threat of the takedown or being in bottom position against Giga Chikadze, but it is what it is. It's fun. But yeah, for Chikadze, I'd probably say his game, simplified, is in southpaw, he's looking for the body kick or the straight left, naked straight left, and in orthodox, he's looking for low calf kicks or the jab, and then he'll mix in that, you know, switch body kick at times. Barboza, he does a few things that have got him in trouble in the past. He will drop his lead hand after popping the jab. Also, he has his hands low when he's circling the fence. He just doesn't throw when he's circling, so opponents know that they can just kind of blitz him and just land a shot on him. And that's why, well, that's how Justin Gaethje knocked him out. Gaethje knew he was going to be circling with his hands low. He knew Barboza's not able to strike moving laterally, so he just, you know, ran up on him and just caught him, basically, and put him out. In regards to the grappling, I don't think it's going to play out too much, but I just got to note like a few grappling tendencies I've seen from Giga. He's uncomfortable in the clinch. When he clinches up, he kind of like pushes or pulls away like really desperately. But I think he's quite uncomfortable in the clinch. Gives up double unders really easily, and he goes for like dumb judo throws in the clinch. So it's just something to watch out for the future. Not really something that's too concerning in this matchup, but it's something for the future. How these guys win fights. So for Giga, he's got a good kicking game, and that's for both. Both have great kicks. Giga has good distance management, which allows for the kicks, but as I said, that can slow late in fights. But I'll also say that's generally fights that include a bit of grappling, and we'll get into that in a sec. How Edson Barboza wins, he's got good takedown defense and the speed and the power combination that he has with his kicks and his hands. How these guys lose fights. For Barboza, subpar get-ups, but the main problem throughout his career is the pressure, like pressure fighters. Like if someone pressures him really heavily, he's not much he can do about it. He needs space for his kicks. He has improved his boxing quite a lot though, so we saw in his last fight against Shane Burgos, Burgos wasn't able to just pressure him with like impunity. He was getting tagged on the entry, and Barboza was, holding his own in the boxing range, in the boxing exchanges. So his hands have definitely come a long way for sure. Also, just round pacing. So cardio is obviously on the lower end of the spectrum, naturally, because he's fast twitch. But I think pacing is what really does him in. He typically starts off rounds very fast and he gradually slows until he's just absolutely spent at the end of the round, and his defense starts to crumble, pace slows, and, judges have short memories, so there's potential that you drop rounds there. Maybe that's the reason why he's lost a few split decisions lately that probably should have gone the other way. But yeah, for Giga Chikadze, takedown defense still looks really bad. He still looks very uncomfortable in grappling exchanges, as we talked about just before. So, path to victory for these two. For Giga, feints, take the front foot, push him back, keep him behind the two octagon lines. Don't just stand right in front of him though. Use your footwork, create angles. Angles are obviously important for that body kick of yours, so you'll be able to do that. Look for that body kick because Edson Barboza does keep that high guard generally. So yeah, the body kick will be open there. For Barboza, look for the 2 over the jab because Chikadze, he's not a big 1-2 guy, or he's not a guy that's going to follow up his jab with anything. Generally when he's throwing strikes, it's one and done. So if you can counterpunch, or if you can counterpunch with combinations, you should be able to catch him like a bit off guard. But also catch him at the end of your punches as well as he's leaning back. High kicks when he's in southpaw, I've seen him like try to forearm block a few like high kicks and body kicks. I've seen that in a few of his fights. He will try and like reach out and kind of block it with the forearm. So if you can just hammer in those high kicks, maybe you can really damage that forearm. Look for flying knees or like a straight knee if he's overextending on that overhand right or overhand left. Like the same read that you made on Dariush, like, I can't remember what Dariush threw. I think it was like a overhand or it was a takedown attempt, I can't remember, but, flying knee is there if you want to go for it when he's like overextending on an overhand. Mix in takedowns as well if you're Edson, Giga hasn't shown a great takedown defense, hasn't shown a great bottom game. Catch a kick, look to take him down, get some top control, win some minutes here, show who's the more well-rounded mixed martial artist. So how I see this fight going? So both are primarily kickers, both don't like being pressured, both have suspect gas tanks. I think they're pretty similar actually, like it's basically a mirror match. It's like that Spider-Man meme, like, where they're pointing at each other. I feel like that with this fight. Like both are used to being the bigger opponent or the bigger fighter in the cage. This is one of the few guys in the division that Giga isn't going to have a huge length advantage over, like at 145. From the opening bell, I feel like Giga's going to come out in southpaw to open up that body kick of his, and he's probably going to look to take the front foot as well. And Edson's probably going to let him, honestly. Edson likes being off the back foot. I have a feeling it's going to be like a similar start to Gagey versus Barboza, where they just exchange low kicks from the start. Might get in an ego battle and choose low kicks to be their preferred weapon. But yeah, very few try and stand with Barboza. Like you don't really get too many. Like at kickboxing range, I'm talking like not guys that are just gonna like fully pressure him. But, you know, guys don't really like to fight him at kickboxing range. It hasn't really been a look that he's had really in the UFC. But yeah, he will actually try and check kicks, and he is decent at checking kicks. Like, if you throw leg kicks at him, he's generally pretty good at checking them. If you throw it to the body, he's pretty good at blocking them. If you throw it to the head, he's pretty good at blocking that as well. And I think Barboza he's a guy that's going to take what you give him. He tries to get you to walk onto his shots, and, you know, if you're overextending, he'll make you pay for it. But the problem here is that Giga probably won't, like, give him much. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be fighting at the range that Barboza, you know, prefers. And he's probably not going to be walking onto the leg kicks of Barboza. He's probably going to be staying at kickboxing range. And he's only going to be close in distance to throw offense. I think Giga is probably going to be the one controlling range and controlling the direction of the fight. Probably be feinting a lot more as well. But in close, whenever Giga does close distance, I feel like Edson's just going to win every exchange and put damage on Giga in close. But, you know, Giga doesn't stick around in boxing range for too long, but if he does, I reckon he's going to get clipped by Barboza. Barboza's hands have come a long way, and I think he's got much better hands than Chikadze, and he's going to hit him with a bunch of counters if he does try and close distance, or if he does stick in boxing range for a little bit too long. Barboza's chin and his cardio have held up really well at 145. Like, a lot of people were just, I was too, like, you know, a lot of people were just like, well, how is his chin going to look like? The guy's jacked at 155. How the hell is he even going to make 145? But he's done pretty well. And historically, both these guys have suspect cardio. Like, Edson's more of a pacing issue, and I mentioned that before, like fast twitch and stuff. Giga, it seems like he only gasses if you grapple him, so that's not a threat here. So yeah, just not a huge sample size with Giga, because generally people are trying to grapple him. I don't feel strongly either way in this fight. I probably will just wait for a live bet entry if I'm going to bet if I'm going to bet this fight at all. I'm going to see if one of them, you know, maybe looks fatigued early on, or if, like, in the second or third round, or if one of them isn't addressing leg kicks, and you know, one's having a lot of success with leg kicks. For a prediction, I'm going to go with Edson. I think he's going to be landing harder. He's also just simply faced the much higher level of competition, and he's beat the much higher level of competition. Like, Giga's best win is probably like Omar Morales, who's a very good fighter and a good win, but, you know, and Edson's like faced the who's who, and he's beat a lot of them as well. But besides Omar Morales, Giga, he hasn't faced a high level of competition. Cub looked pretty bad in that fight, but also, you know, Cub kind of pressured him, and Giga showed the same tendencies that he's always shown in the past, but it's not really a problem here because Edson's probably not going to pressure him. But yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm probably just going to watch it. I'm not going to bet it because I just don't have a great read on it, honestly. Like, it's don't have a great read on Giga. I just don't know what level he's at. If he comes out and blows Edson out of the water, I'd be quite surprised. If he, like, you know, completely styles in him 50-45, I'd be pretty surprised and very impressed. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking about this one all week, and I haven't really been able to just get a solid lean on either fighter. So I think the line is basically correct at near pick'em. Yeah. So let's have a look at the betting lines. So if you guys could like the video, that'd be awesome. Thanks for that. So the prediction is Barboza by decision. I think it does go the distance. Not confident in that either. But I do feel like he should be the slight favourite, which he basically is now. I think it just turned. I think Giga was the favourite a second ago, I swear. But yeah, I think it's lined correctly. I think that's perfectly lined. I think that's how I would line it. But yeah, I just don't have solid lean. I think there's not really too much value on anyone at the moment, in my opinion. But yeah, comment below who you think's gonna win, how you think they're gonna win, and yeah, or like what strike they're gonna do it with and stuff like that. Because if you have a solid lean on this fight, I'd really like to hear your opinion, because I don't really. So yeah, I'm interested to hear opinions for this one.